Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your continued support. I hope that you had a good Christmas, or at least as good a Christmas as you possibly can. I know there are lots of worried people out there, and I do appreciate that. But I hope you had as good a Christmas as you possibly could. So I've had a few questions down in my comment sections about general things to do with universal credit. So I thought that I would do a video to answer some of those questions, not only for those people, but also for others who may come along who have similar questions, who can find this as a bit of a resource. One of the questions that I get is about the managed migration, and basically they've read that their benefits are going to stop when they migrate over to universal credit, or they will get less money. Now this applies if you get a managed migration letter. There's no guarantee that it will apply if you just apply to universal credit off your own back. If you get a letter saying you have to migrate over to universal credit, then that also implies a payment protection, which means that you are supposed to get the money that you would receive before universal credit after you've moved over to universal credit. Now the reason that happens obviously is because that people can't be worse off moving over to universal credit, so they've got this payment protection in place. And what it does is it allows you to get the same money you were getting before. However, if there are any rises in those benefits, then that benefit gets taken off of the protection payment that you're getting. So for example, if you are on, say, and I'm just plucking a figure out the air here, if you are on £500 protected payment, and the money goes up, so for example the old ESA money would go up, something like that, by £10, because you're on a protected payment, instead of you getting the extra £10, the £10 would go off the protected amount, so you'd still get the same amount of money. It's just you wouldn't get the increase, you would just get the same amount of money again, and that would carry on until the amount that you're getting for your universal credit equals the amount that everyone else is getting for their universal credit without the payment protection. It sounds a bit complicated, that's why I've left a link down in the description below for you to have a read through that. Now of course there are other changes that could occur. Changes in your circumstances later on can also affect that, and things like that. So that's just how it is when you migrate, but obviously if you have any change in circumstances, that will affect how much benefits you're getting as well. The other thing I wanted to talk about is this 5-week wait. Now if you migrate over to universal credit, there is at the moment, as of the recording of this video, about a 5-week wait before you get your first universal credit. So you apply, you go online with your migration letter, fill out all of the things it asks you to do, and then you get 5 weeks where you don't get any money, unless of course you get PIP. If you get anything that's not covered by universal credit, you will still get that. So you will still get your PIP, you will still get other things that are outside universal credit, but you won't get your universal credit for about 5 weeks. And of course that causes a lot of issues, because you may have things you need to pay in those 5 weeks, such as your rent and stuff like that. So you can apply for a kind of a loan, if you like, if you know what I mean. You can apply to universal credit and say, look, over the next 5 weeks, this is how much I'm going to have to pay, but I'm not getting that universal credit. And what they will do is they will advance you that amount of money, but you have to pay it back. Now the levels you have to pay it back depend on your circumstances, and obviously depends on what the situation is at the time, so I can't give you a figure on that because it may change. But they will tell you on universal credit, if you go on to their journal, they will tell you roughly how much you can pay over a period of time, and there are various periods that you can choose from. Now it's not a great solution because you've still got to pay this money back, but it will help you to get over that 5-week period, because obviously your universal credit won't start for that amount of time. Now obviously this universal credit situation is a bit of a minefield, and I know there are people who've had problems with it. So what I would say to you is your first port of call has got to be universal credit. You've got to go and sorry, my daughter's playing the game in the background in her bedroom. So you've got to speak to universal credit first on the journal, find out if they can sort the situation out. If they can't, or if they're saying that there isn't a situation to deal with, then you need to go to Citizens Advice Bureau or something like that, where you can get advice on that situation. Because I'm not a lawyer or a solicitor, I'm just going by things that have happened in the past and things that they say on the government website. So if you are in any kind of financial difficulty or something goes wrong, you need to speak to Universal Credit or CAB, something like that, to get advice. So they're just a couple of other things. Let me know in the comment section if there's anything else you'd like me to talk about, and I'll do my best to cover it. But I hope that gives you some kind of idea of what's going to happen. Everyone who's on the legacy benefit should get a migration notice. So if it looks like you haven't got one yet, you can ask them at the DWP, but most people should probably be getting a letter very, very soon. So anyway, let me know down in the comment section what you think about that, and I will see you next time.